Koberger allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false. You knew that was false. For anybody who had never heard that before, that question is now planted into them, unqualified representation that Mr. Koberger stalked one of the witnesses, and that's false. We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122, but we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I forgot to take that intro out. Again, that's my bad, guys. This is obviously not about the Idaho case. Hello. Hello and hello, 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 hello. This was not what we were going to go over today. I originally wanted to do Jack Showalter's second interview today. I haven't decided yet whether we're going to do that tonight or if we're going to continue on with chapter 6 and handle Jack's interview maybe tomorrow. I don't know, up in the air. I'll probably pick something out of a hat. I don't know. This case here, though, and I'm going to be like getting my putting my makeup on and like getting ready for the rest of the stuff I have to do today while we're talking about this, because this case is very important to me. It's very important to my children. We helped search for this little boy. We put out flyers. We went to the memorials. We went to the ribbon cuttings. We lived very close to Everman, Texas. And we were very involved in this situation, covering it, figuring out what's going on, trying to get answers to things as much as one can be as a public person. You know what I mean? Like as just somebody out here. We did as much as we could in way of what we could do. I know not a lot of you were here for this. This was a long time ago. Let's see when I actually had my first video out about this case. Now, a lot of stuff happened, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown before we get into what's happening now, for those of you who might not know. But I just want to see the date that I put my first video out on him. April 2nd, 2023. April 2nd, 2023. Now, at the point that people started actually discussing Noel, he'd been missing for months. He'd been missing for months. Noel was a 6-year-old autistic child, very special needs. He had been in and out of foster care because his mother was a horrible human. Plain and simple. She's a piece of shit. I'm probably going to cuss a lot in this one. I'm not even kidding. Like this bitch right here. Okay. He'd been missing for months. The school had notified people that he had been missing, that he hadn't been in class. She had even gone so far as to have tried to ask a friend to borrow her child so that she could fake a doctor's appointment with Noel, because Medicaid was threatening to take away all of her benefits because her special needs child had not been to any of his freaking appointments. It had gotten to that point. Now, what was really super crazy about this whole situation with her is that around tax refund time, and she had several kids. I don't remember if it was like 5 in total or 5 on top of also Noel, but she had several other kids and she was married to this guy. I don't know if he was the father of any of her kids or I don't know. I don't really care, honestly, about that part. Tax refund time comes around and she pays like every single penny of her multiple kid tax return, okay? On a concrete slab for the backyard of this house of this man that has decided to, for some reason, like take her in and allow her and her family to live in this like shed thing in the backyard. Maybe 5 total. Yeah, maybe 5 total. Sounds about right. I'd have to go back and look at the airport photos of them fleeing the country. Would probably help that, right? Piece of shit. She pays like $7,000 for a concrete slab in the backyard, and she very specifically tells the contractor that in this one very specific spot, she wants it a lot thicker than the rest of the damn concrete. That's not a freaking red flag right there. So then when he finally gets reported missing and people start looking for him, the dogs go out there, they're sniffing around, and they like mark on an area of the backyard where there was a rug that used to be. Same spot where the concrete now is. They scent track it all the way to this dumpster, which we drove by this dumpster. Me and my kids went around in this area. I have all the videos of us driving around. Like everything is still on the channel. We drove around the neighborhood and we saw the dumpster where the rug was apparently found. And the dogs knew there was a dead body scent on this freaking rug. Before they even really got to really question this piece of shit woman, her piece of shit husband went and stole like $10,000 out of a vault that belonged to his boss, and they got on a freaking airplane and they took off out of the country. So the last thing that they had of them before Miss Bitch over here ended up on the FBI's top 10 wanted list. Okay, she was on the top 10 FBI most wanted list. Kash Patel came out and did a damn podcast interview when they arrested her because she was on the top 10 list. I don't know how more people are talking about this story. I really don't. But she tried to lie and say that Noel had gone down to Mexico with his biological father. The biological father, his sister, anyone related to Noel on the father's side of the family had not heard from this child or her in years. He had no freaking idea. So she sent the cops down on this like wild goose chase down to Mexico to go and talk to the dad, to talk to the family. Then there was even a conversation about her selling him in the parking lot of a Fiesta Mart, which is like a grocery store for those who don't know. That was false. That was just a rumor. So she goes and she leaves the country, and it's her and her piece of shit husband and their freaking kids. And I never understood why they didn't take it more seriously, because she done killed one. She don't pop that cherry. What makes you think she's not going to kill the rest of her kids because they're taking too long to get ready for them to leave to the next hide spot? Or who knows what the hell's going on through this piece of shit's head. So the fact that it took so long to even arrest her, which wasn't very long ago, less than a year. But through all of that and her finally coming back, I don't know if she finally like cracked and told them where he was or what's happening. But the last time, and it's been probably like 2 months, maybe 2-3 months, I might have made like a small post about it, but I don't think I did a video about it at the time because there was so much going on with Idaho. There always freaking is. And it's just a lot. The last thing I checked, this dumb bitch is being labeled as incompetent. Well, no, she's not. If she was able to hide the fact that he was gone for months, if she was able to discover somebody who could come in and just how thick the concrete had to be able to not be able to be detected from something, if she was smart enough to do all this shit for months and borrow babies and all this other bullshit, she's not bullshit. Put that bitch where she belongs. Let's quit playing goddamn games. Like, this case pisses me off. Like, I'm like, y'all are going to see me pissed off in a way that y'all probably ain't seen me pissed off in a while, because what the fuck? Okay? She can flee the country, but all of a sudden she's not competent enough for trial. Miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the damn bullshit. It's stupid. So 2 nights ago, I'm sitting on my couch, scrolling, I think through Twitter. And all of a sudden I see they're doing searches at the same freaking house they've already searched and couldn't find him because they dug up the dirt underneath that concrete and did not see him. They did testing, and there was some positive things as far as I can remember from the testing to prove that he might have been there at one point. But he wasn't there when they searched before. I don't know if she was on freaking drugs. Probably. She looked like a dumbass. She looked like a dumbass. She probably was. If you saw the way that they were living, yeah, she probably was. Not just that. And like, people can do their religious thing, whatever, but there's a line. There's a line. And a lot of people were really focusing on the fact that she had all these like really religious sculptures and shit of like a very specific, I guess, Mexican deity. I don't know the name. But it was very dark. Like a lot of people in that culture instantly saw what was inside of her house and considered it a huge red flag. A huge red flag. On top of that, there was also stories. Not only was she trying to borrow a kid to go like pretend to be Noel to the doctor, but she wouldn't give him water because she didn't want to change his diaper. And she had been seen several times smacking him in the head with her fistful of her house keys. A special needs child who was just thirsty. She smacked the shit out of him. No one called the cops about all of the actual shit she was doing to him. It took him being missing for months. The foster mom that had him for a while, I saw her at the memorial. I saw her at the ribbon cutting for the park. And you can tell that she really wished that Noel would have never have been taken out of her custody and given back to his piece of shit mama. Like, I don't understand how you have a woman who's already like lost her kids and they were already in the system at one point because she's obviously a piece of shit. And then they get given back and there's no changes. She's still living in squalor. She's still living in trash. As far as we understood, she wasn't working. Her husband was the only one that was working and she was staying home with all the kids, which in other situations is perfectly fine. But whenever you're an abusive piece of shit, the last thing that you need to be doing is staying at home all day with your kids so that you can F with them all day long and be the piece of shit you are. Am I wrong? No. So when they finally freaking brought her back, I really thought, holy shit, maybe we're going to get some answers. Maybe we're going to get some answers. Maybe she's finally going to freaking tell us where he is. Maybe it's like, I really did not expect for them to find anything where they've already looked. They have done all of this already. So again, I don't know all the details. I'm going to be listening to this shit for the very first time with you guys right here and right now. Okay. Like I said, I was just scrolling 2 nights ago, not last night, but the night before, and saw this. Yesterday, I didn't do anything. Well, that's a lie. Let me show y'all what I was doing yesterday before we get started. Because I can't say I wasn't doing anything. Low key, I was busting my ass yesterday. And I thought I put this damn thing on silent already. I was busting my ass yesterday. What I did yesterday was take, and I'm still doing, hold on, I'm in the middle of doing it right now. Permission to fingerprint. I have taken, and I'm going to make sure that all of you guys know this when we do our Idaho Live later. I have taken the 2,356 pages and separated it down into categories and printed them all into categories. Let me pull this out and show you real quick. All day. I spent all day doing this. Because I was sent some information I told you guys about a while back that I was asked to look at. And I found myself getting really frustrated because I was scrolling and searching for words and trying to figure out what I was looking at. And everything that I was sent was so out of order and it was really difficult. Like I felt like Ann Taylor for a minute. And so I sat down and I did a shit ton of organizing. Let me just show y'all real quick what I did yesterday. This is the Idaho State Police folder. I separated it out. All of the police records, when it comes to the just reports, are in this one. But this is where I did a bunch of stuff. Okay. Everything is in here separated. It's all labeled. I also put every single one of the forensic reports for each of the cases that are mentioned in the jackets, because there's 2 different case numbers, in order. I pulled them and printed them out separately so they're easier to access for both cases. Not just that, But I also created where's it at? Where's my index? I think it might be in here. Yeah. I also created an index with every single report on here and a screenshot of the very beginning of it so that you can see the items in the screenshot in the report that's being talked about, so that you can just literally see, oh, it's that report. And then you just go over there and you pull that damn report. And you don't have to keep scrolling and figuring out what the hell is where. This was so freaking annoying to go through everything yesterday and not be able to really get to what I needed to get to. I separated out the case jacket. Everything in the case jacket is together. Everything in way of the evidence submission receipts, every single one of them is now together. Everything when it comes to the chain of custody for the 4843 case and everything for the 4870, everything is now separated out. And I think I'm like on the last leg. Yeah, I'm now on page 2342 of 2356. I'll be done with this in about 5 minutes after we get off this live today. I spent all day doing this. I stayed up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and then finally was just like, I can't, I have to just go ahead and like stop. But I've only maybe taken like 2 more print things out of this since yesterday. But this needed to be done. Holy shit. And this is not, I'm not even honestly done yet because there's still some documents that have cross-references to 4870 from 4383, like put all together. So those also need to be separated out a little bit more. And there's also one other one of these that I still need to separate out because it's got both cases in them. But pretty much everything in here is separated out. And it's the same thing that I've been saying that I want to do for all the Idaho photos, all the things. They all need to be separated the frick out because everything is a damn disgusting mess. Like I said, I understand. And Taylor, I get it. Like, you still suck. You can kiss my ass after the bullshit you pulled at the end there. But, you know, for a while there, I sort of understood. Perfect timing. So you'll know that 4-page inventory report for the Idaho case that I put a request in for, that I asked for, because Chris Whitcomb and Turvey are saying that there's a 4-page handwritten report from the scene that says that the knife sheath is on the floor, and I asked ISP for it. They don't have it. They just responded to me that they don't have it. Let it focus. Maybe it's too bright. Basically, they're telling me that if it exists, Moscow has it. The Idaho State Police has no responsive records. Anything related to this request was turned over to the lead agency for this case, Moscow. But one of your forensic people are the ones who wrote it. What do you mean? Why wouldn't you have a copy of this handwritten ass report? Back to square one. Now I got to ask Moscow. And they're just going to be like, oh, we don't have it. Girl, you know we don't have it. I'm sick of them. Yeah, it's a fucking course. So done. I guess Moscow. I mean, damn, my face is, I mean, if I suddenly lost my voice, I could probably continue on with the channel just making faces, honestly. And see, that's something that we're going to need to talk about soon here because of that damn letter that's in the EW lawsuit now about how Moscow's apparently not allowed to give out any information from the FBI. Well, that means nothing. That means nothing. Like, I was scrolling through the MPD reports yesterday looking for things that I needed to maybe reference in my inventory list and stuff like that. And there's basically like, there's not a single thing, minus maybe a couple of the interviews that ISP did, that the feds didn't touch. Almost every little bitty thing is, oh, this special agent did this, and I sent this to this special agent, and blah, blah, blah. Like, we're never going to be able to get, like, anything. I feel like. It's just ridiculous. Okay. Let's listen to this real quick about the case. Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Hold on a second, guys. My cord is acting crazy. Hold on. Okay, I had to replug in my cord. All right, so let's listen to this real quick because this came out yesterday. Just the simple fact that it was back at the same freaking house. They dug up this area. Like this is just crazy to me. Okay. Let's listen to this one before we watch the press conference that happened a few hours ago, because so far they don't know for sure if it's him. It's being sent, like the remains are being sent off for testing. So let's just listen to see what they said yesterday, and then we'll jump to the presser. It's only about 3 minutes.
To start with new evidence, the district attorney says was found, you heard him right off the top, in this search for Noel Alvarez. 6-year-old boy has been missing since 2022. He has been presumed dead. His mother is accused.
I think it was like October 2022, somewhere around there. That was like the last time that he was seen. Somewhere around October, I think, was. Don't quote me, but I think that's it.
Used in his disappearance and his death. Tonight are Amelia Magavro hearing from both the prosecutor and the defense attorney about this new development.
Clearly, there was some evidence that was found, but exactly what it is, that remains to be seen.
A possible break in the case after days of searching in Everman. FBI crews seen from above, focusing on one whole Wednesday at the former home of 6-year-old Noel Alvarez, who hasn't been seen since 2022.
I do have high hopes that we're going to get that evidence. I mean, Cindy Rodriguez saying she thought that she got rid of all the evidence. I don't think that's going to be the case. We're going to track it all down.
Prosecutors allege Noel's mother, Cindy Rodriguez-Singh, killed him, then fled to India in 2023 before being captured 2 years later.
She's guilty. She did it. And we're going to prove it in court.
Cindy is presumed to be not guilty of any criminal offense.
Shut up, Bob.
That we're still, I think, in the very early stages of the case.
Bob Gill is Singh's defense attorney. He says she is.
You don't try to borrow a child to take to a doctor's appointment. Months in between what you did to your kid and freaking go and then purchase a $7,000 concrete slab on a property that doesn't belong to you. On a property that doesn't belong to you. If you didn't do some dumb shit. I don't give a shit what the rule says or what the law says. I don't care. In some of these cases, kiss my fat ass. She needs to go.
Currently in jail receiving mental health treatment after a judge found her incompetent to stand trial in April.
No. And again, I say, if you could freaking plan on the bullshit for months and months and months, your ass is not incompetent. She's playing stupid because she's probably acting like she barely speaks any English. She's probably playing games. That's what she's doing. Again, she could get out of the country and she evaded for 2 years. More than 2 years to not be caught on the FBI's top 10 list. She wasn't just gone and little bitty old podunk Everman with 2 damn lights was the only people looking for her. She was on the FBI's top 10. Incompetent? No, Tarrant County is incompetent. Trust me.
Vast majority of cases, the competency restoration program and the state hospitals will regain someone's competence to stand trial.
Gill says it is unusual for an investigation to continue years after a murder charge and argues the state's case is lacking.
When you heard that the state has gone back to Cindy's home to dig up the backyard once again after 3 years, what went through your mind?
Well, let me tell you this. I'm not surprised because they have a huge hole in their case. They have charged someone with murder.
Please.
And
Really holds the fact
they
that
can't
he's
say
missing.
that there has been a murder that's been committed.
And why do you say that?
Supposed body of the young child has not been found.
But the district attorney says after years of searching, he is confident they'll find answers.
This investigation continues. And so, you know, we're hopeful that we will find Noel's body.
And both sides say there is still more work ahead until Singh's day in court.
I think there are still a lot of questions that need to be answered before we get to a trial or an ultimate disposition of the case.
Our best is not to leave any stone unturned. Yeah. There is no price that says that's too much for Noel. Yeah. I mean, we're here to seek justice for Noel.
Not on the FBI's top 10 list. There better not be any excuses.
Now, I do want to point out again that this is not the first search at this home back in 2023. As you recall, there was another search effort and digging operation back then, too, shortly after Noel went missing. As for this latest search effort, there is still no timeline at this point of when it could all wrap up, and really no indication or true indication of what led investigators back here. But the biggest development at this point is that there is confirmed new evidence. Live in Everman and Melanie McGowan.
Yeah, that's what I want to know, because they did this. Again, they dug up that yard. They talked to the concrete guy. They dug up the yard. They brought in dogs. The dogs smelt death. That's why they ended up tearing the entire backyard apart with the damn, whatever you call it. I did hear that there was stuff going on in Delphi. If that goes back to court, I mean, we can only cover it as much as we did with the last time, because we're probably still not going to allow any cameras. But that's one I wish Turvey would look at, is Delphi and the way them girls were found and the information in there. I really wish that he would. And honestly, but she speaks perfect English. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's full of shit. She's fine. She's definitely competent enough. Also, this Alex Murdaugh stuff. I know that we need to talk about that. Now, I will admit that as of before yesterday, I was pretty ignorant to the case. I didn't really know a lot about it. I knew the gist of it, but I didn't know a bunch of the big details. I pretty much spent all day yesterday listening to nonstop Alec Murdaugh stuff in the background as I was doing the separation of those reports. And I feel like I have a decent grasp without listening to the trial information. I feel like I have a decent grasp of the details of that case. I will say I find it extremely interesting how happy he was to plead guilty to those financial charges. And now this is happening. And if he didn't have those financial charges, he could have walked out of prison yesterday, is how I'm understanding it. So now there's going to be a new trial because that clerk lady or whatever she was, somebody that was in the admin area, was running her mouth to the jurors, which was something that people already had known about, but we weren't aware that it was going to cause the charges to be overturned. But I feel like it's something important to discuss, because this kind of situation could have easily happened in the Idaho case if this shit would have gone to trial, because look how many people were desperately trying to taint the jury. That's why a lot of people do believe that Ann Taylor was the one who leaked to the defense, leaked to Dateline, because they'd already gotten their way with a change of venue and they needed something else to taint the jury so that there could be something else pushed. And honestly, with as shitty as she ended up being as a defense attorney, it really wouldn't shock me. It really wouldn't. So we'll see what the investigation has to do in the Idaho case. But I think that if this ends up going to retrial, the Alex Murdaugh situation, I noticed that. So let me ask you guys, all of the videos that we see right now in way of the trial and everything that happened in the Murdaugh case, did that happen live for everyone to watch as it was happening, or did that stuff post after the fact? Let me know in the chat, because if it was something that people got to watch live, sounds like y'all watched it. Okay. So if they do it the same way again, then we're going to watch it. Yeah. We're going to watch it. We're going to keep an eye on Delphi. And if they want to do the right thing, they'll allow cameras. I bet Andrea Burkhart is like gearing up for whatever she knows that she's going to have to do and trying to figure out a less stressful way to take notes inside that courtroom. So maybe Delphi will do the right thing and they'll let us watch it and it'll go live, because at this point, I mean, I really never saw anything that pointed me to Richard Allen. I really haven't. And the more that I have read and the more that I have listened to, even though that we're not really talking about it too heavy at all here on this channel, I'm still paying attention. I pay attention to a lot of cases I don't talk about, really. But honestly, like nothing ever pointed. And it's so crazy to me because some of the creators out here that are so adamant that Richard Allen is innocent have the same arguments for him being innocent that we have for Kohberger, and they think that we're fucking crazy. Especially when it comes to like the car. And it's been really interesting watching some of them be so freaking hypocritical and not even realize it. In that case and in the Nancy Guthrie case, when it comes to like a car on video, vehicle on video, the same shit that we're like, you can't tell what that is, what color it is. We don't know if it's beige, silver, tan. We don't know what it is. It's a black and white camera. They're using the exact same kind of excuses for things for the cases that they want to. But when it comes to this one where it makes just as much sense to have that same sentiment, no, we're crazy. I don't know what makes it so different. When facts are facts regardless. I don't know. I don't know. He did say that a lot, huh? He did say that a lot. They need to allow cameras. Yeah, I'm glad, because she needs to go. Ugh. Yeah. That's what, like, whenever people would come at me stupid, like, about Brian Kohberger, I'm like, do I want to have Richard Allen's babies? Like, is that what you're going to be going on here? Because that's what it has nothing to do with literally anything other than the fact that the facts don't equal what they're trying to tell us. The evidence does not equal the narrative. It never has. Literally freaking never has. It's the stupidest shit. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I think that Stephen Avery needs to be looked at too. I think that what they're doing to his nephew is bullshit. I think there's a lot of cases out there that need more attention. I don't know all of the facts. There's plenty of things that the public is not told, but everything that I've seen so far, I have lots of questions. And people might not like to hear it either about this situation, but I've said it before, is that I really wish that they would look at the Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson case a lot more. And that doesn't mean that I don't think Scott Peterson's a piece of shit. I think he is a piece of shit. Like, you're a piece of shit, bro. But there's still a lot of questions in that timeline, because there's over a dozen people that believe that they saw her walking the neighborhood with the dog after Scott left. And with as adamant as the cops were to tell the public about where he was, it didn't surprise anyone when they found her and the baby there. The cops told everybody what Scott Peterson's alibi was. So if you were trying to make sure that your ass wasn't going to get caught, why wouldn't you put her in the freaking same area that the husband was, that the public had told you about? Of course you would. He's still a piece of shit. But there's also someone at the damn storage place where he held the boat that saw Lacey there with him and the boat before she was dead. It was supposed to be a present. That's why it was secretive. At least that's that story. I don't know everything. I just know that there's places where there's still questions and gaps that don't make sense. Like, how the hell are you going to try to tell me that these people are going to go burglar a house when there's cameras all over the place? And even the news people are like, ain't no way in hell. We're just going to believe the thieves? That's crazy as shit. You're just going to believe the thieves? Of course they're going to cop to a burglary and not a murder. Are you crazy? Of course they would. There's lots of cases that need to be looked at. But I really don't want to keep talking about ones that already have so much coverage. We need to be talking about stuff that doesn't have coverage. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Okay. Let's listen to this press conference. This is Chief Spencer. He's not the chief anymore, though. Me and the kids met him. We didn't meet his wife and kids, but he was always there with his wife and kids, especially at the little ribbon cutting thing that they did. But he's not the chief. He's not the chief anymore. I don't remember what he's doing now. He's doing something else for the city, but he's not the police chief anymore. Ew. Me too. Me too. I'm like, what the fuck is actually wrong with y'all? Serious question. Like, to a lot of people. All right. Now, this was 2.5, 3 hours ago on today. So let's see.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Craig Spencer, and I have the pleasure of serving as the city manager. We're here today to give you guys an update.
He was the chief.
On the case involving Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. Today, you're going to be hearing from our chief of police, Al Brooks, the Tarrant County District Attorney, Mr. Phil Sorrells, FBI
County.
Dallas Special Agent in Charge, Mr. R. Joseph Rothrock, and then we'll follow up with any questions. The questions will be limited because keep in mind this is an ongoing criminal investigation. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our chief of police, Mr. Al Brooks.
Good morning. Today, I want to begin by acknowledging the weight of this moment for our community.
Yeah. That's definitely a downgrade.
Case since its beginning.
Just because he's like so much older, like almost retirement age. Why would
the memory of
be younger in that
Noel
position?
Rodriguez-Alvarez.
That's crazy.
During a lawfully authorized search operation at the former residence of Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez, human remains were discovered. Those remains are now in the custody of the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office, who is doing a complete forensics examination and working toward
Was it a full skeleton or what was it?
I do want to be clear. No official identification has been made as of yet.
I need to get the documents for this case.
We will not get ahead of that process. Okay. What we do want to address is what you're seeing today is the result of a years-long investigation where very diligent investigators refused to give up on Noel. I am profoundly grateful to the assistance that we have received from the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office and the FBI. Their partnership in this has been invaluable. This is what
Tarrant County is the county that did us real dirty. The same county that didn't care to read the date of birth on the charging documents and didn't warn us anytime that he was out, didn't give us any updates. All the shit that I've been talking is Tarrant County. They suck. They've always sucked. They don't care about people at all. They don't. And I know that people are like, oh, yay, Tarrant County, for what happened with the Athena Strand case. One good thing that they've done in 25 years does not matter. They've had issues at people dying in the jails. They've had issues with their own forensic lab that I think Turvey even talked about it, where the person that was supposed to come in and fix the investigation, do the investigation and find out what was going wrong, she ended up doing a whole bunch of bullshit, ended up getting in trouble and causing even more issues. Tarrant County sucks. They are the losers in my villain arc here.
Justice-based, focused partnership looks like to bring justice
to
those who deserve.
I think it's really just Everman pushing and pushing.
I'd like to turn this over to
because Tarrant County don't care.
Attorney, Mr. Phil Sorrells.
Good morning. Today marks an important step towards the pursuit of justice for Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. I want to express my deep gratitude to the FBI for their unwavering commitment in helping us in achieving this goal.
Yet she's incompetent. What goal? Dumbasses.
Every time that we call them,
miss me with
they're eager to help. They financially committed to helping us.
Yeah, because you're tiny.
In making sure that we get the justice for Noel. Their efforts were instrumental in getting Cindy Rodriguez.
Calling her incompetent and not letting her have the full extent of the damn law hammer put down on her is not justice for Noel. So shut up. Shut up. Y'all are letting her cop out.
Back from India in just less than a year ago.
Dumbasses. They pissed me off, y'all. They pissed me off.
We wouldn't have been able to do this excavation this week without their resources. Every step along the way that we've asked them for help, they help. And that's what you see cooperation.
Sure.
That's what you can get out of cooperation is results. This progress resulted
incompetent.
as a coordinated effort from my office, the FBI, the Sheriff's Department, the Tarrant County Medical Examiner, Everman Police. Each agency has played a vital role in bringing us to this moment. Our focus remains on the successful prosecution of Cindy Rodriguez.
Then stop acting like she's
We owe it to
insane
Noel.
or too slow.
We
Like,
owe
what
it
the
to
hell?
our community to seek justice in this case.
I'm about to email Spencer.
And we are determined to do just
Be
that.
like, what the hell is going on, bro?
Noel
Why?
was a child whose life
Why are we
mattered.
doing this?
We will not forget him, and we will not stop working.
Yeah, his
for
life
justice
mattered. So stop
for
saying
him.
that she's incompetent. That's just pissing me off. That's beyond pissing me off.
Good morning. I'm Joe
He's beyond
Rothrock,
competent.
Special Agent in Charge of the Dallas FBI. Since we became involved in this investigation, we have worked jointly with our partners at the Everman Police Department, the Texas Rangers, the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Texas, with a single goal in
That's what
mind:
I don't understand.
finding justice for Noel.
Because they tore that
Noel
whole yard
Alvarez,
apart with
who hasn't been seen since
construction
October
equipment.
of 2022.
October, yeah.
This partnership ensured the return of
We started
Cindy
talking about him
Rodriguez
right after we started talking about
to the
Tyler.
United States in August of 2025. And as the chief announced today, it has led to the discovery of human remains.
But
I
not
wanna
last
thank
time.
all the men and women across law enforcement who worked this investigation for their continued dedication to finding that justice for Noel. We remain committed to our partnership with the Everman Police Department and the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office to honor the memory of Noel and to bring much needed closure to the Everman community. Thank you.
I just want to extend our personal gratitude to the Tarrant County DA's office, all the investigators that have been working on this case, their tenacity. I shared previously when we were doing this investigation that we would commonly go back and review many things.
That's true.
And the DA's office has shared that same tenacity, and we're eternally grateful for them. We're also eternally grateful to the FBI for the amount of resources that they've dedicated to support this. And there's not enough words to really show you my appreciation and what you've done for us. So thank you. Again, we're going to be limited on the types of questions we can answer. If you would, I'd prefer if you raise your hand instead of shouting, because we have a lot of people here, so we'll start calling on you.
What exactly led to this excavation? Was it a tip? Did Cindy say something now that she is in custody? A little bit more.
Sure. No, I understand. I understand what your question is. I want to comment that our biggest priority right now is justice. And we have to be very careful about the comments that we put out and what we say.
Y'all can answer that damn question.
So we're not going to comment currently on anything that may have led us back there. We're going to leave that to the DA's office and let them.
That's so stupid. Why can't you say, well, because she gave us some information in an interview, or, well, we got a tip, and even though we searched it already, we decided that we were going to take it seriously and go back out there. This kind of bullshit right here is what pisses me off about these press conferences. Because if you're not going to actually answer anything more than the damn headline I could read in 30 seconds, why are you out here wasting everyone's time? They could answer that damn question.
Do what they do best in prosecuting and seeking justice.
They could.
Over here. Oh, he's got it. Did you have one?
I do, City Manager. You've been in the backyard before. You've done excavating of portions of the yard before. Cadaver dogs didn't pick up any scents before that we are aware of. Was there anything?
No, they did. They did.
Yeah. So
kept those remains from being.
That's why they
sensed,
dug it
if you
up.
will.
So I do want to correct. We did have cadaver dogs that did alert previously.
Told you.
We did have cadaver dogs. That
I should have been in that room asking all these questions.
Comment
Yes,
on
you know, them
the
questions.
extent of what occurred with this particular search, but what I will tell you is that each and every search was done professionally, methodically, with the resources that we had available at the time. We are thankful again to the DA's office and the FBI for what they've been able to bring in to extend that search and get us to the results that we need. But beyond that, we can't comment on any.
It's a cow. That's normal cowboy hat, y'all. That's gonna be a meme now. Watch.
Yeah, that confirmation would come from the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's office, and we'll defer to them.
Now, they're also not telling us if it's like just a couple bones, if it's a skeleton. Like, they haven't told us anything else in way of like what it actually was. What's going to be super crazy is if it's not him and there's somebody else buried in that yard, because again, this is not her house. This house belonged to an old white man that's for some reason took her in before she met her husband that she fled the country with. And he did a couple interviews, and a lot of people were telling, like, nobody had a good feeling about him in way of like him hiding some shit. Like, he wasn't involved in anything. People don't think that he was involved in anything, but they definitely, and I believe from the way that he was answering things and his mannerisms and the way that he, like his facial expressions and just things that he said, just you could just tell that he wasn't being honest. It was very obvious that he was lying, but it's his property. Which is another reason why everyone was like, why would you spend literally $7,000? $7,000, guys, on a concrete slab. And again, I will say again, every time I mention this up, she specifically asked the contractor who came out here and interviewed himself, and I'm sure will be at trial, to make a very specific spot underneath the slab, thicker concrete than the rest of the slab. Who does that? Who does that? But she's incompetent. She can tell the contractor exactly what to do in order to evade the smell being noticed by anybody coming in, or maybe even block a sensor from being able to see things because it's a certain thickness, but she's incompetent.
And how, in what manner they want to put that information out. Sure. So we'll leave that to the portion on whether they were a child or not. We would leave that to the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office or the DA's office. As far as where they're located, we're not going to comment on that today because it may affect the integrity of the investigation.
May I ask a quick question to Chief?
Let me get him right here, and then I'll get Chief up. Yep. Sure. Come on, Chief.
Yeah, they're not answering a damn thing.
Right.
A lot of the police have talked about how this is a very emotional case, and about that time we talked about what he's doing right now is discovery.
Pretty much every emotion you can have. No other way. You had a follow-up?
I do, sir. You talked about the weight of this moment. I believe you're talking about the weight, W-A-I-T, and the weight, W-E-I-G-H-T, of this moment.
More the
both.
More the W-E-I-G-H-T.
I'm sure.
This
small town is so tiny, y'all. It's not even funny.
Worldwide. Yes.
I don't know if it's the FBI or you, Chief. We need a little bit more if you can, please. And I know it's horrible, but we need more of a description as to what was pulled out, how far deep, the dimensions, the weight.
We do need more.
A cement block, I have no idea.
That's
heavy to us, but
understandable, but that unfortunately is detail that we cannot release.
So why are you out here?
Of the investigation.
Why didn't you? This is nothing. We don't need to have a press conference in. What is this for? Attaboys? Because I don't see no answers.
Yeah, sure.
So again, what we'll share is that during the initial search that we did, we conducted a thorough professional search with experts and teams that were here to the extent that we were allowed and able and capable of doing, right? What I'm telling you now is that with the support, the tenacity that we've seen from the DA's office, the joining up and our belief that we should not give up on this case, they've shown that same exact tenacity and have seen this through and have brought in resources beyond what we were capable of doing to be able to succeed in a search that we conducted yesterday. We'll take one more right over here. Yes, ma'am. I think that would be a better question for.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I didn't hear your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask how this influenced the case and changed things.
I'll just say real quick about the cowboy hat. I feel like he might be wearing it backwards. Is he wearing it backwards? I need to send a picture of the way that he's wearing his cowboy hat to my father. I don't know why. I feel like he might be wearing it backwards. Let me just continue.
Well, we believe we found evidence that's going to improve our case. And it remains to be seen if that turns out to be true, because we're still waiting on the medical examiner to tell us exactly what evidence was found.
You can tell us if it was a whole skeleton or like what.
We're confident. Right now, she's been found incompetent. But she had a psychological evaluation.
Just because she's stupid, don't mean
the
she's stupid.
psychiatrist told us, or the psychologist told the court.
Look, you see how he can barely get this bullshit out of his damn ugly ass mouth? He is literally stumbling over his words. Watch him answer.
She had a psychological evaluation. Our case. And it remains to be seen if that turns out to be true, because we're still waiting on the medical examiner to tell us exactly what evidence was found.
Oh, so damn pathetic. Y'all have been proven to be pathetic over and over again. Fucking losers.
We're confident. Right now, she's been found incompetent.
Watch all answers.
But she had a psychological evaluation.
His eyes.
And the psychiatrist told us, or the psychologist told the court.
He ain't believing this shit.
Currently, she is not competent to stand trial. Now, there are two things that are required for you to be competent to stand trial. You've got to understand the charges against you.
She understands.
And you've got to be able to assist in your defense.
She can. She's not a fucking idiot. Oh my God. She literally evaded the police for months. She evaded the fact that he was missing. She was doing everything she could. She's not an idiot. What are we doing? You do not make the FBI's top 10 most wanted list being an idiot that can't stand trial. What are we doing? This is a child. When I tell y'all Tarrant County has never given a shit about children, you guys already know our story. This is typical. This is typical. Every bit of her behavior that we have seen over the past 4 years proves that she is not incompetent for trial. This is gross. This is so disgusting. This is so gross. She concealed his body. They got on a plane to India. They were gone for freaking years. And again, people watched this abuse happen. Somehow or another, no one ever ratted her ass out until it was months and months and months too late. And again, you don't know the specifics for concrete and what it will do to help you evade arrest by being incompetent for trial. This is such bullshit. This whole press conference is a waste of tax money, a waste of my energy, a waste of everybody's everything. They're not answering any questions, and they're just pissing me off.
The report further says that they believe that in the foreseeable future, she will regain competency.
Oh my God. And the miracle will happen and she will be healed. What? Did he just say that? So we're going to pretend temporarily that she's stupid as shit and can't do anything in court. But we have full confidence that one day she's just going to snap on out of it. What? I can't. This is ignorant. This is Texas. This is Texas. When people always want to act like Texas is so great, Texas has been shit for 20 years. People just don't freaking understand. This is Texas. What you're seeing right now is Texas.
That currently she is not competent to stand trial. Now, there are two things that are required for you to be competent to stand trial. You got to understand the charges against you, and you got to be able to assist in your defense. The report further says that they believe that in the foreseeable future, she will regain competency. So
that is so freaking funny. What? What are they getting out of it? What are they getting out of calling her temporarily incompetent, basically? What are they getting from that? Shit. Yes.
Remains in the fashion that they were found will help lead y'all to what exactly happened if it is Noel?
You know, that's going to be determined based on what the medical examiner tells us in the coming days. I mean, there's still going to be evidence that gets unraveled as we continue this investigation. The investigation doesn't stop at this point.
Anyone's going to know
the
it's
DA's
him.
office is leading this investigation. They're doing an incredible job. They've got a great team of investigators. The FBI, I believe, isn't going anywhere. I think they're going to continue with this. And so I would say that, you know, it is going to continue to be an evidentiary finding for us as they continue.
He's done working.
It'd be great if we could tell you this is Noel.
You could tell us more.
But we haven't heard that from the medical.
That's fine, but you could tell us other shit.
We're gonna wait until we hear for definite what these remains are.
And you know what's going to be pathetic is that when they actually have a definite, it's going to be a statement. It's probably just going to be a statement, a press release. It's not going to be a press conference. I bet.
Who these remains are.
Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it. Go ahead and step up.
All y'all did was piss me off. Incompetent. I'm sending it. I just sent it to my dad. I don't know if he's off work yet. He's got the longest bus route of the entire district. So he's definitely on the road a lot longer and a lot later in the afternoon. But I just asked him. And when he responds, I'll post it in the community tab if it's after the fact. Incompetent. Temporarily incompetent. Oh my God. This is like the only reason that I would ever go back to Fort Worth is to watch this bitch at trial. If it wasn't such a danger to me and my children's safety to be back in that area, I would definitely be there for her trial. So hopefully they do something to where we can watch it. It'd be nice if it was something we could watch when it happens. This is just crazy. How are you temporarily incompetent with it in your freaking psych report that in the foreseeable future you'll be competent again? I'm sorry. That is the most stupid shit I've ever heard in my life. I've seen him without his hat on. He has a lot of hair. Well, it's been some years. I haven't seen Chief Spencer in person since 2023. Because we moved in December of 2023 and we barely were there like during the time that they did the ribbon cutting, because there was already a park next to the police station. And they ended up putting like some sensory stuff. I have the videos all up on my thing. Let me see if I can go find one of them. And I'll show you all the park that they dedicated to him. But I'll also, like, side note, like if I didn't already know, like we were already broken up at this point. Like we were just trying to co-parent at this point, me and my ex. And if I didn't already know that he was a demon, something that happened during this case definitely told me that he was a demon. So I printed out a whole bunch of missing persons posters, and I had just put one on the back of my car. And this is when I still had my little Honda hatchback at the time. I had just less than an hour before my piece of shit ex showed up, put a missing persons poster for Noel on the back of my car. He was the only person that was around my vehicle from the time that I placed the missing persons poster on the back of my car, him coming into the house, annoying the shit out of me for an hour and a half or so before taking off, and us then getting in the car to go grocery shopping. At that point, I wasn't smoking cigarettes anymore, and he was. And again, the damn thing was maybe on the back of my car for an hour before he showed up. We go to get in the car, and I walk around the back of the car to go let Don in because he always sits on that side to where I can reach him from the driver's seat. And there was a cigarette burn on Noel's nose on the missing persons poster. And Don's piece of shit father was the only one that had been around my vehicle after I put that missing persons poster on that car. So this 40-something-year-old man, because he was jealous of the fact that I had asked him right before that to watch our youngest, which is our only kid that we have together, watch our son, because we were going to put missing persons posters out. He was pissed that something else had my attention, and he put a damn cigarette burn on this baby's face on that missing poster. That's the kind of man he is. That's the kind of man he is. Yeah. Here's this. Let's see. How many videos do I have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. But here's the little park. This park happened when? November 20th, 2023. We moved in December. We moved December 6th, 2023. So 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks after they dedicated the park to Noel, we barely were there long enough for the park dedication. But we saw it. And I had a neighborhood. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty positive I didn't take Don with me because I couldn't trust that my ex wasn't around. We already had a protective order. He was on probation. Like, he already had all these stipulations on him. And I couldn't trust that he wasn't going to show up because he knew how involved I was in this case. And I couldn't risk it with my youngest. So I had a lady watch him while me and my other 2 kids, my oldest 2, went. And this is where we saw Chief Spencer again. And they did a dedication to the park. I'm pretty sure the whole thing is on like vertical slide. Let me check. I couldn't go live, guys, because, you know, I don't want my ex to know where we are in real life, real time. So this will be posted in a little while. See, this is look how cool this is. To him. It was all brand new. It's all very low to the ground. It's made for kids with special needs, like Noel. And it's so cute. Look how cute. There's a bunch of sensory stuff. Grass is so green. They got little balloons everywhere. Christmas tree in the background. The weather's really good today, too. It's a good day for this.
We are dedicated to the proposition that this shall not happen again in our community. We do not have any throwaway children. Every child deserves to be loved, nurtured, and protected by the community. And this is our pledge for every child in this city.
There he is with the hat. He's always got that hat. Okay, yep. It's a drone up here, guys. It sounds like a beehive. There's a little kid right here, so that when that butterfly pops up, I'm trying to hide this other kid's face. I don't know who the child that was.
It's ADA compliant. This is an all-asset surface, so it's very accessible for any child. Some of the equipment on here is sensory design. This is the first tragedy that we've had to go through, and we've seen it time and time again. This community come together. Naming the park after him was our mayor's idea. It was a great idea. You know, he's felt a very personal connection to this case. He's got a very soft spot for children in our community. So naming this park after Noel was his idea, and it's very fitting for this case.
Yeah, this was emotional. Yep, there it was. Yeah, I'm glad that they're moving on it, but like it just makes me so sick because what do you mean she's incompetent, bro? Everything that we have been told about this piece of shit woman, no, she's not. No, she's not. She was an evil witch who treated him like a demon. She literally would go around telling everyone that he was possessed. He was special needs. She'd smack him in the head with a handful of car keys because he was asking for water because she didn't want to change his freaking diaper. Ugh. 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 Gross. Gross. My dad must be driving. He hasn't responded back yet. I think he's even told me before watching something about this that he had his hat backwards. I don't know. I will figure it out. I'll figure it out. All right. It's 4:45. My plan is to go live tonight. It's either going to be Jack Showalter's interview or it's going to be the Chapter 6 review, but the Chapter 6 review is nothing but Dylan Mortenson's interview from 11/17. So, I don't know which one we're going to do tonight. Probably Jack's interview. Because we've overheard Dylan 1,500 times. And even though it's important and it's the next chapter, like, I just, you know, don't really want to hear her all night. So we'll probably listen to Jack's. We're going to listen to Jack's. I appreciate you guys jumping in here for this one. This case is important to me, as you can tell. Like, I'm so pissed. This is not shocking. Like, Tarrant County has always been a damn disappointment. They've been a disappointment for years. Nothing is going to change. They're always going to suck. They're always going to not care about kids. They're always going to try to take the cop out. They're always going to try to take the easy way out. This is what they do. Incompetent. I don't think I've ever been so pissed at dumbassery of a stranger before in my life. Incompetent. No, they don't. And like, I don't know where the husband and the other kids are. Everything that's happened since she was arrested, I haven't seen anything about anything when it comes to where that guy is and where the kids are. And he stole $10,000 from his boss. So you'd think that like if they were together that he would have been arrested too. So I'm going to have to look. I got to dig. Because I've just been focusing on her. Like when stuff happens, it's just a focus on her. I don't know where he's at. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I'll be on later. I'll figure out the time. It'll probably be like 6:45 or 7:15, one of the two. One of the two. But again, I appreciate the almost 260 altogether of you that jumped in here last minute for this case, because not a lot of people talk about it, and I don't know why. Again, she was on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. I don't know how more people aren't talking about this one. Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. I will be back later. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Again, thank you so much for coming in here with me today. I'll see y'all guys in a little bit. See y'all. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that the notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives.